Test down. White sands, beautiful women, nice food. I don't think I'm coming back, man. Ain't coming back to the States, baby.
Peace. Salutations. This is the Guess I Said podcast. I'm your host, Adam Ill, and to the left of me is...
That's it, cuz the governor.
And this is the Guess I Said podcast, where it's black, it's culture, it's us. We got a special guest in the building. I put the double special on there because me and his brother go back past 20 years. Me and his brother go back since the Northeast days in the mid-90s, where we was just recording, looping Wu-Tang beats and rapping over them from dusk to dawn. I call you Khalil Abdullah. What do you go by now these days?
I'm still Jamil. Like you said, we all know each other from a long time, and we continue to grow and develop as people and as men. But the beautiful thing is that we still know each other, and we still who we are.
Exactly.
You're still my brother. You're still my good friend.
Man, yeah. I consider you a sibling.
Yeah, brother.
I consider you a sibling. That's how deep the blood run, man.
Yeah, we family for sure.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show, man. Been a long time coming. The topic of today, God, what we have? What you sent me? I forgot what it was. Reparations, right?
Yeah. Reparations.
Okay, let me give myself a disclaimer, or to give a short disclaimer. We're not professionals. We're not professionals in this topic. I don't think I am. Gov, you may be.
No.
Jamil, you may be. This is just our opinion. This is just us sharing thought. Feel free to correct us if we're wrong, and also educate us on these matters. So saying all that, let's get it in. Okay, reparations. How do y'all feel about that? Gov, I'm gonna let you go first. And I guess we're gonna do something a little different this time, man. Whenever, feel free, chime in, make it more cohesive and more natural coming off. So, Gov, I hate to put you on the spot, bro, but reparations, man, how do you feel about it? And what should be done?
The word reparations means to repay for something that was done wrong, you know what I mean? Or at least to repay for something. And was something wrong? Yes. So should there be repayment? Definitely, you know what I mean? Now, how it should happen, I think that's what a lot of people are arguing about, you know what I mean? The way that it should take place. But I think anyone that argues that we should not have it, they're definitely on the wrong side of that.
Jamil, what you think? How do you feel about the reparations situation? I'll let y'all brothers know how I feel about it. I'll try to go deep in depth as I can. But how do you feel about it, Jamil?
Well, I think it varies person to person. Far as first we have to look at how most people view reparations. In my personal opinion, and I could be wrong because I can't speak for everybody, but I think most people of African descent in America who are descendants of enslaved Africans, when they think of reparations, everybody think of a multi-million-dollar check per person. Most people. I think if most people ask, what does reparations look like to you? They'll think of kind of like a super Powerball stimulus check type of thing for every individual person. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's going to happen like that if reparations does come. So I think for me, I'm personally not really concerned with it. I feel like what was done to our people was wrong. And I feel like, it's really can never really be fully paid back. And I think if it were to be paid back, I look back at Liberia. You look at a country like Liberia in West Africa, where freed people came together and formed their own country. So for me, if there was reparations, it would have to be in the form of independence, where there's a separation between the descendants of African slaves, to have our own country, our own jurisdiction, or at least have that option, that freedom to be independent in the true sense of the word. So for me, if there is reparations, I'm more in favor of that, where it's a sovereign state, a sovereign country, some form of sovereignty, because it would promote Black unity. It would cause all of us to be the masters of our destiny, as opposed to just getting a check that, would probably
Go
be
right
gone,
back to him.
about
It
3.
go right back
Yeah.
to him.
Right.
Yeah. So officially, just to be clear, I mean, I'm not totally against it, but I'm somebody that's not going to be waiting for the government to give it to us. And, I'd rather take action into my own hand and just, be independent and make an effort to be free.
What you brothers said was probably enlightening. I'm gonna tackle it from a different perspective.
Mhm.
Let's say we did get it. Let's say we did get our own state. Let's say who would run that state? How will our military be? Are we capable as a people now to have that sense of power within our grasp? Do we have enough leaders now today that is military trained on a national scale that can deal with trading and the things that this government has set itself up to be? It's one thing where you say, okay, this country was built on the backs of slaves or minorities. It's true, right? But when you're looking at how democracy started, how they teach you in school started with Athens and the Greeks and stuff like that, and how it took them years to build a system. Then came Rome and stuff like that. Do we have the capability, like an Israel, a quote unquote occupied Israel? Will we be supported like an occupied Israel? So all these things gotta take place fundamentally first. Who are the leaders? Are we properly trained to have our own state? Before I lose train of thought. Again, who will run it? How would it be? And like you said, Jamil, we don't want to look at it as a stimulus check. I believe Dave Chappelle made mockery of it. I mean, he was educating us in jokes. It was the Dave Chappelle show that came on in the early 2000s when blacks got their reparations, and it was blown in on dice games. One dude bought a whole truck of cigarettes, ashy line. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want that. And I think that's in back of their mind, I think that's how they believe most of us are going to handle that situation. Because look what happens when we get taxes.
No, yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Walmart. Cool.
So I'm gonna ask this question to you brothers. Do we have leaders in place of that to lead this nation? What's considered black? A lot of people have different genetics in them, mixed biracial, stuff like that, who consider themselves black. A lot of these tedious things need to be fundamentally addressed before we can step on any soil of our own. And me personally, I don't think we have any leaders to run a nation, to run a state, if they gave it to us.
Especially as fractured as we are, as it is, you know what I mean? We split off anyway on various different reasons. You know what I mean? We got religious reasons, we got political reasons, and oftentimes they're not like the best reasons necessarily. Like they're not the deepest when it comes to certain issues. You know what I mean? However, it's difficult to be able to get everybody because One thing that I know that we do have a problem with is everybody, we all want to be the guy. We want to be the face. Somebody wants to be, I wanted to be me. You know what I mean? There's too much going on instead of actually wanting to be someone that's truly like a servant to the people. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that mentality. You don't see that as often as it is for a chance for them to finally be the king. You know what I mean? So too many people want to be the king. Nobody wants to really be the leader. You know what I mean? So and that's what I think hurts a lot of the conversation when it comes to reparations and when it comes to having the black states. Because when you think about look at the black cities and different things like that, we look at black businesses and things like so what we got, we have a mixed bag. We don't have it doesn't look like we have a overall, it doesn't look like it's a very positive image. We see some people doing well, but we see others that's not. That's really taking and a lot of those others are really getting a lot of the spotlight because they're getting the headlines. We're seeing how they're doing a lot of abuse and a lot of waste. So that's the thing that I really think hurts us. You know what I mean? When it comes to actually getting somewhere as far as that. So that's why I think when it came to the point that Jamil made earlier, the true answer really is what are you going to do on your own, basically? How do you build what you're trying to build? How do you study? How do you make your life better for you and your family? You know what I mean? So that's what I think we have to do as individuals. And then once we get enough of us individually doing that, those people that's like-minded and have the right way and have the same vision need to step forward and do things and put things in place, build our different industries and different things, you know?
Let me ask y'all brothers this. I don't know. Maybe y'all can tell me. Have they gave the Native Americans any type of reparation?
It's like a
Um, I wanted to answer the one question that you asked first.
Okay.
Kwame Nkrumah was once quoted as saying, the only way to know how to, I'm paraphrasing it, the only way to know how to be a sovereign nation is to be a sovereign nation. So if we were ever in position in the form of reparations being given and you know the resources and you know where there's a sovereign state or anything like that, I think that we would have the ability to do it because we would be in a position where we had no choice but to do it. And to Brother Governor's point, you know, it is the other issue of okay, we're in this situation where there's this new sovereign state. You know, a lot of people probably would fight for leadership positions, as opposed to understanding that everybody can contribute in different ways for the advancement of our people. And to the other point that you mentioned, far as like you know racial integrity, like who's black. So if there was this kind of reparation in the form of a new country where, of course, it would be these new opportunities for everybody to be successful and these new laws, things like that. You know, who's really black? You know, will we get the Rachel Dozals? You know,
Yeah.
will we get, you know, so both of y'all brothers made really excellent points. And to Brother Governor's point, you know, which I really share that opinion is, you know, everybody individually should, you know, we're not slaves anymore. So we have the total capability of really putting forth the effort to make our lives what we want it to be. And we have that freedom. You know, we can move. Like we don't have to stay in America, or if we want to stay in America, we could try to do the best to be the best versions of ourselves and take care of our families. So I think everybody has that freedom and that option as far as, you know, what you know, reparations look like, or you know, or their particular view on it. Yeah. So and to the Native Americans,
Yeah.
yeah, they did get well, I don't know if it would be classified as reparations, but you know, I know they got the yeah, I think it is reparations. They got money, you know, because everybody's familiar with the casinos and how these reparations got
like
you
no
know, I mean how these reservations got billions of dollars in some cases.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
enlighten
so
me on
yeah.
that. I read an article briefly last year. It was dealing with what happened in Florida with some type of revolt in
Mm.
this country. And what happened was the blacks are fighting for a piece of that reparations because the Indians are trying to now deny the blacks of getting any of the money. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I forgot what it was, but
Maybe,
it passed, last year. And go on, feel free.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you're talking about the Seminole Nation, where the Seminoles and this was actually even from years ago, where the Seminoles were, the Native American populations that joined with, Gullah Geechee and other Black people who teamed up together and fought for their independence. And Black people were able to, marry into the tribe, be a part of the tribe, be a part of government and everything. So all of these years, you had the Seminole tribe in Florida, or the Seminole Nation in Florida, where Black and Native American people were intermarried and living as one. And then the moment that the government decided to give them billions of dollars, the quote unquote full-blooded Native Americans were like, hold on for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was like, y'all, they got their Black wake-up card, so
Halloween is over. Time to take the mask off.
Yeah, they was like, we appreciate your support, but we got it from here.
Oh man. That's crazy, man. I think this links to what we're talking about. My late Omi, before she passed, we had a deep conversation, right?
Yeah, honor her spirit.
I said, because we used to have a lot of deep conversations. I said, in the 60s and 50s, who owned these stores, these corner stores and stuff like that? He told me that they were Black owned. Then they sold out to like the Koreans and stuff like that, right? And I said, wow. I said, okay. So that took the Black money circulating out of the Black neighborhood, because once you give the Korean store owner your money, he's not going to put it back. And I'm going to be safe and say I'm generalizing. I'm speaking for all of them. I could be wrong. There's probably somewhere out there in the world that someone has given back that wasn't a part of our community, right? But for the most part, he or she is not going to give back to the community that helped them stay afloat and sent money across seas to their family to make them live better. True. Fast forward to the 90s, where you had the Arabs and the Indians, and you have somebody else that moved into the territory now. I think the Italians been there. But the point I'm trying to make is, all these foreign outside groups have made money off the Black community and sent it back to their community and did not put the money back into our community. Why? Because wake up call, they're not part of our community. Right? Morally, it would be nice, right? But logically, they don't have to do it. Can't get mad at them, right? So, follow me here, because I'm coming around the corner. Remember during the time of COVID in Baltimore, I don't know if you guys remember or not, a young Black woman was murdered in cold blood. She had her own hair weave shop where she was selling wigs and stuff like that. Now, I used to, when I go to the store with my wife or whatever, and I say, you're spending all this money on hair products and gels and stuff. And I say, wouldn't it be nice if one of us had one of the stores? Who knows us more than we know us? And besides, a lot of benefit can come out of that where, we use less chemicals to harm ourselves, we're more educated. Who's more educated on us than us? And lo and behold, a Black sister came up, she manifested the idea that probably a lot of us had, right? And during the time of COVID, I believe she was murdered in cold blood by two Black people, a male and a female, over a wig because they would not give her she would not give them a discount on the wig. No. Now, coming around the corner, we had Black Wall Street. You know what happened to that? I fear that us as a people have been torn down so much mentally and spiritually that even if we was to get reparations, and it goes back to what I'm saying, what I said earlier, we don't have the proper leadership. We don't have the proper unity, as Gov said. We have a lot of things that's, I don't want to call them minor, but we have things that would separate us. And let's not even go where we're not even connected to the younger generation. There's a disconnect with us and the youth. So there's a lot of issues getting these reparations, and I just think that I don't think that we'll be ever be ready. And I keep scratching my head, going back to World War II, where, a certain group of people, the Akanaki Jews, if I'm pronouncing it right, sorry for butchering the name, how they can go to an occupied nation and to this day flourish. I don't think that, this government will want that for us. And I don't think that we're prepared for it. So it goes back to what Jamil said. It's just wishful thinking. That's what
I mean, you also look at Haiti for one. That's your example right now that we have right now as we speak. Haiti is the example for being in the Western Hemisphere. There's been a lot that's going on as far as their leadership, but when you look at the a lot of the what's the word? I forget. But there's been a lot of meddling that has been going on from the superpowers when it goes to Haiti and their leadership over the years, over the decades, or pretty much over the centuries since they've been pretty much in existence. So when you look and see where they are now compared to what they have, like their resources and things like that, we're like the superpowers are profiting big off of them, but they're like the most poorest country. I think they are the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And with all the war and everything that's been going on, and a lot of people have done well with that, we can kind of see what can happen. But if we don't have the proper everything that you just stated, if we don't have those things in place, it's going to almost lead like a comedy of errors in the end. Because, the statement is like, a fool and his money are quickly departed. So if we don't have the wisdom to maintain that, it's going to be tough to,
So brothers, have we became individualized as a people? Have we became selfish? Have we became more about ourselves lately? Have we given up on the fight? Was Martin, was Malcolm, Garvey, Huey P., H. Rap, was it in vain? Was it all in vain? That's what I ask you guys. I know it's drifting off the subject a little bit, but it's, as black as culture as us. The things that we don't have is unity. The things that we don't have is structure and discipline. The things that we don't have as a nation, is love for one another, peace and harmony. And to top it off, going back to what we stated earlier, who was black? Who would consider themselves black? I think they did a number on us so bad, more than any nation in the world in history. I think they did a number on us so bad that we don't even know who we are and where we're going at this point. So we became individualized. It's been about just me and family, which it should be, because it's an old saying. If you teach your household to be righteous, 9 times out of 10, you're going to marry your kids to what? Another righteous household. Mm-hmm. You're going to spread righteousness individually. Just like negativity can spread like wildfire, righteousness can spread, and these things that I mentioned that we lack can spread. But I don't know, brothers. I don't know. I hate to be the downer, but I got to be a realist. I don't think as a people that we're prepared, or one thing is deserving something, and another thing being prepared to get it, to receive it. And I don't think we're prepared to receive it. And I don't think we're ever going to be prepared. To receive it. And this is a question for both of you guys. Do you think that who we deem as leaders now, these entertainers and these people that's on social media, have we fallen from grace? Jamil?
Well, first I want to say I don't think it was in vain. What the elders like Martin Luther King Jr., Marcus Garvey, and a host of others, I think what they did served the purpose that it was supposed to serve. I think what happened is somewhere along the line, you know, we lost track of the importance to continue the fight. Maybe perhaps with some of the freedoms that they helped us get, like for an example, voting. I remember watching a documentary where I literally saw a elderly Black woman dead on the street because she was marching for the right to vote. I saw the footage, and she was marching for the right for Black people to vote. And they showed her, I don't know what happened, but she passed away and she was dead right there on the street. And when I seen that, I was like, man, I got to make sure I vote whenever I can vote, because that lady literally died. Like, I literally saw footage of someone dying. So, we can have the right to vote. So no, it wasn't in vain. They did what they were supposed to do. But now it's time for us to do what we're supposed to do. And I think that's where the conflict comes in, because I think American culture as a whole is very kind of individualistic.
Yes.
So it's like, it's not just Black people. I think everybody that's kind of, without even being conscious of it in American culture has kind of become more about, man, I got bills to pay. I got to take care of my business. Everybody has so much of their own things they have to do, where even in something that's less serious, like people don't even make time for their family sometimes because they got to go work. They got to go do things and keep their own mental health right. So I think that the only difference is that on top of us kind of falling into, the everything that Americans go through, we're just, as a people, we're still kind of dealing with systemic racism.
Yeah.
So it's like, while we're caught up in just trying to take care of ourselves, we're also dealing with certain levels of systemic racism. Whereas maybe other groups may not have that same issue per se, so they can get caught up in that individualism. And for the most part, they're not dealing with the same issues that we're dealing with from, say, the races of the world, who have benefited from the power structure, but to answer your question, no, I don't think it's in vain. And as far as what are leaderships today, we do look at the entertainers for leadership for some reason. We look at the rappers, partly because maybe these entertainers, the athletes, the rappers, and the movie stars, they the ones who became rich. So, a lot of Black people nowadays, we're looking at who got the money. It's like, okay, you're telling me that, you want me to listen to you, but we're going to look at you.
Right.
And if we see you're struggling just like us, we're like, you're not really telling me anything that's going to help me out, So I think that's the mentality.
Do you think they take play in how we as Americans, and particularly Black folk, how we view capitalism as the new religion? And I said that boldly, because Malcolm was poor, Martin, Garvey, Huey, all those guys were poor. They were in the struggle. They was in the trenches with us. Now that you have these new found celebrity or leader that's a celebrity that's millions and millions of dollars, and they also told us how they can also break them down. Yeah. Say the wrong thing. Just say the wrong thing. Be behind the wrong brand. Yeah. And we're going to chop you right back down to size and put you right back in your place. Mm-hmm. So I think capitalism is the new religion.
Mm-hmm. Is that capitalism, or is it the fact that the ones that we thinking have the money really don't have the money? It's like an illusion, because see, they're getting paid by billionaires who's really, really free financially. Something hit them, they got to lose $200-300 million. No big deal. They still chilling like it's no deal. They don't even know what the price of gas is. They don't even pay attention. So, but meanwhile, right. So then I noticed when the pandemic hit, right? And when a lot of that money, because, at first you see a whole bunch of them taking pictures with stacks of cash, right? When the stacks of cash disappeared, I'm starting to hear the stories about this one got in trouble for the PPP loan. This one getting couple, you know, you find about this little scam here, this one there, you know what I mean? So they not as rich as they appear. So I think that's a lot of what keeps them from doing a lot of the things that you think that we would think they should be able to do.
So you think real quick, because we got to go to another subject, a segue to another topic, and this right here will cut off soon. So Jamil,
Oh,
what's going to happen is if you have enough time, Gov is going to send you a link, send me a link, then I'm going to send you a link, and then the next segue will be about Kamala Harris, and
okay.
do we feel that she's fit to be a leader of the free nation?
Okay.
Real quick, to piggyback on what you said, Gov, they is I don't think that it's the entertainer's responsibility to be a role model or leader.
Mhm.
I don't think it's their and the children shouldn't look at them as such. I think the people who are the educators, the scientists and stuff like that should be, you know, the cliche saying,
Right.
you know, the teachers and stuff like that. But again, I'm not trying to be the downer. The system is so corrupt. The people that we supposed to look to as leaders have corruption within themselves, you know. But that'll end this segment Against Our Said. I'm your host, Adam Mill. And to the left of me is,
That's it, cause the governor.
and our special guest. Please speak your name and your piece in this last few seconds.
Oh, Jamil Shabazz, and I'm really enjoying the topics.
Yeah, man, we enjoy your company, man. We enjoy this, man, more than you can ever imagine. Girl, where can they find you at?
I'm at the governorsmansion.net, www.daguvnasmansion.net.
And you can catch Guess I Said in all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. That will end this segment of Guess I Said, and we'll be right back with Kamala Harris. I'm pronouncing her name right. I don't want to butcher the sister's name. Is she fit to lead the free world? And what do us as Black men, what do we think of her? So that's coming up next. As Black as culture is us. Guess I said peace.
Yeah. Let this test down. White sands, beautiful women, nice food.